I think the microphone might be on now. Can you guys hear me okay? I think maybe we're live. If anybody's on, if you could leave a quick comment for me just to let me know that you can see everything okay and sound is okay. Hello. Just waiting for a couple of people to come on here, and somebody could let me know in the comments how the video and sound are right now. I'm supposed to have the live chat up on that square there on the right, but it's not, so I don't know why. Let's see if I can get that live chat pulled up there on the side. There we go. Looks like we got a couple people maybe on. Welcome. I wanted to do a live stream tonight and maybe talk about a couple things that have been going on lately. Hopefully you guys can see and hear me okay. If somebody wants to leave a comment and just let me know that you can hear and see okay. First time using streaming software and whatnot, so just want to make sure everything is rolling like it should. Hello everyone. Time to move up a chair and sit by a campfire and tell some stories. Hopefully they're good ones. I think they are. Just give it another minute here, make sure things are still going right. And then we'll get into some stories and tell you some things that are going on around here at Flannel Acres. So who we got watching tonight? Anybody out there that I'm familiar with, or any newbies signing on? Looks like just a couple people maybe. I don't want to take too long to get into stories and whatnot because there are a couple of you here. So the biggest thing that's been happening around here is that we bought some land. We're very excited about it. It is property that's behind our house, and it used to be township property, and they were willing to sell that. So I think it was right around 15 to 20 acres or so. My husband knows the numbers for sure. But anyway, we purchased that and very excited. We have some plans for it and nothing huge like putting houses in or anything, but just some fun stuff out there. So anyway, we bought the property and it was late May, I believe it was. So all of us, Bob and I and the kids, we went out and we put up private property signs and marked the border with blue ribbons. Now the lot had been surveyed, so we knew where the corners and the lines were. So we were just kind of following those and adding the border ribbons and signs as we went. So then a few days later, I heard from one of our neighbors, and she let us know that there was somebody who had posted something on Facebook. This person had been riding a horse back here. There's a lot of people that ride horses back here in the woods. So this person was riding and down the trail, and part of the trail goes onto our property. So that person saw the private property signs and got very angry, made a Facebook post about it. She took down signs, that were there. Anyway, she followed the signs to where she thought they were coming from, which was the neighbor's house. And she posted a very angry post on Facebook, and she included a picture of the neighbor's house and address, which is not cool. So the neighbor got the police involved, and we'll call her Karen, I guess. We got to give her a name. So Karen did take down the picture, but the post I think is maybe still out there last I checked. So from there, we put up more barriers and signs so that, where that line crosses the trail, it's more obvious, and you have to actually ride around a sign or walk around a sign to get into that area. So it's very obvious. We put some signs on posts that have a little map on it, and on the map it says you are here, and it shows where the trail enters the private property. So those were up, and we decided, well, let's see what happens. So we go out there every couple days or so, and we were seeing more horse tracks along that area. So we thought, well, let's get the trail cams. So we put a couple trail cams out there, and we did get some pictures of Karen on the wrong side of the line. And we just kept watching. We weren't gonna do anything at this point. We're just kind of watching and gathering information. So at one point, the township supervisor, the land back here is split. So one side is, we'll call it Daisy Township, and the other side, we'll call it Flannel Township. So we had the Daisy Township supervisor contact us, left a business card, and asked that we call him. So I called him, and this was just a week and a half ago or so. And he said that he had been out there in the trails with somebody with a quad, and he had also been in contact with the sheriff mounted division, I think it's called, and just the riding around and the talking to people that he investigated. He said that part of the trail that you guys marked is not on the trail system that Daisy Township has. So he said, in fact, when they went around the loops of the trail that township has out there, he said, we didn't see any signs. So they didn't go quite far enough into the woods to see where that extra trail was crossing the line. So that was a big relief that township supervisor was in support of what we were doing, and said, yeah, everything is as you said it was. Flannel Township supervisor, we had been in some contact because obviously we purchased the land from them, but there was no fuss from them either, which was great. So we just kept on watching the cameras and watching for tracks and whatnot over the last couple weeks here, and we stopped seeing horse tracks in that area. We did see a couple of pictures of somebody on a horse, and it looked as though they had approached the border and then turned and went the other way. So it seems like they're coming up to the border and then just turning and going the other way. Now there was another Facebook post that Karen put up, which I really did appreciate. She included some maps and was informing the equestrian community of areas that they shouldn't be riding on because it leads into private property. And I was also glad to see that they have plans to reroute some of the trails, which is great. They have a lot of land out there to make trails and reroute. So I'm trying to think of the percentage of what our lot is compared to the rest of it. Our spot is probably not even a tenth of the size of the rest of it. I mean, it's huge, this area that they have to make trails and stuff. So there should be no concern about, you know, running out of space or whatever. And there was never any intention for us to cause any trouble or shutting down the trail system or anything like that. We were just simply marking our property so that people were aware, because we know that people are out here on horses and walking and hunting and things like that. And it's never been marked before because it's always been township property. So I think that's about the story. Like I said, things have quieted down a bit out there, and I appreciated the post that she put up. I was kind of hoping there'd be an apology to our neighbors at least, because she really threw them under the bus, and they really had nothing to do with it. So, and I do appreciate our neighbors letting us know when they see or hear things, just keeping us in the loop. That is really great to have neighbors that are willing to do that as well. So, lesson learned, I guess, is that when you buy property, watch out, because maybe not everybody is as happy about it as you are, but be prepared and have everything surveyed and marked, and just be sure of where you're at is, you know, is what we're learning from all this too. So, all right. Hello. We're here and have been. Thank you. I'm assuming you can see and hear okay. Video and audio is coming through okay. We have that campfire. Let me see if I can point the right direction. This way. With some nice sounds to it too. So hopefully you can hear that in the background as well, just kind of for atmosphere. Looks like the chat window is working as well. If anybody has any questions about the property rigmarole, feel free. It's been quite the experience. But yeah, we are very excited to have that property out there. I'd like to make kind of a, I don't want to say documentary necessarily, but we have a project that we just started working on out there, and I want to show you guys kind of the start to finish of that. So that's really exciting. I haven't decided yet if I want to do like a series of videos or get videos along the way throughout the summer and then show you at the end of the summer what we have done out there. So if you have any opinions on that, let me know. But we're really excited about that. And let's see, what else is new here? Let me show you the newest thing here. This is our new rooster. So why we got a rooster, we weren't planning on getting a rooster really. We've had one before and it didn't really work out, so we found a different home for that one. Anyway, my niece had an extra rooster that she had no issues with, but just wanted to find another home for it. So I agreed to take the rooster, and that night something got the rooster, raccoon or something, I don't know. Anyway, that rooster was gone. So I thought, well, you know, I've already been kind of thinking about this for a couple days here, so why don't I just kind of look around, see if anybody's, looking for homes for roosters in the area. I already knew that if we got a rooster, I'd want a certain breed if I had a choice. We really like the Australorps and Barred Rocks. And I thought, well, if I'm going to look for one and I have a choice of what we're going to get, I'll look for that. So I looked around, and lo and behold, I did find some roosters looking for homes. Get this back here. Okay, so anyway, this place where we went to get the roosters was about an hour drive away from here, which isn't too bad. They had 3 roosters. 2 of them were Barred Rock, and the other is, I think, a Rhode Island Red. And I just posted a video about that too, just yesterday, I think it was. So you can go check that out as well. But anyway, 3 people, roommates, living in an apartment over by a college, and they'd raised these from chicks, and they just kind of hung out with these folks, for the last 2-3 months or so. And I guess they, out of necessity, because they're moving, they had to find new homes for them. So my husband and I drove out there, and I had a friend of ours who said that they would like one of the roosters as well. So we planned on picking up the 2 of them, and I told the guy, I said, if I can find another home for the other one, we'll take that one too. But I didn't find anybody else for that 3rd one. So anyway, we brought the 2 home, Barred Rock and the Rhode Island Red. And ours is going to be the Barred Rock, obviously, and our friends got the Rhode Island Red, and they're excited about that. We're happy to have a rooster here. I think it is nice that we're starting out with a young one that is getting familiar with us and getting familiar with our other chickens. So hopefully less issues as he gets older, but I guess you never know. They kind of have minds of their own. But we are trying to come up with a name for him. So if you look for that video about bringing home a rooster, go check that out and comment in the comments below that video name ideas, and we'll pick which one is our favorite, and we'll kind of go with that. So our rooster is getting along okay so far. We have 2 old hens and 10 young ones that were hatched this year. So the 2 older ones are kind of grumpy to him and really want to kind of push him around a little bit, making sure he knows the pecking order. So we try to keep them, somewhat separate. They're all in the same coop, but we let them free range. And Rooster knows to stay kind of clear of them. He's a little intimidated by them. He seems more comfortable with the young ones because they're about the same size. And I haven't seen much of pecking order business between him and the younger ones. So far that's good. The first night, I wanted to make sure that he got in the coop overnight because we have that automatic door. I don't know if you saw that video where we installed an automatic door that will close when it gets dark and it opens when it gets light out. So I didn't know if he would realize he had to go in there because this is all new to him. So I went out just as it got dark and the door was closed, and I looked out there, and sure enough, he had flown up to the corner stake of the fenced-in area for them, and he was just perched up there. He was probably going to roost there for the night. And I said, buddy, that's not a safe place for you. So I took him down off from there and then brought him in the coop, and I set him on one of the perches. And the other hens in there, they were just fine. They're kind of quietly clucking and cooing and whatnot, and all was fine. So that went well. Last night, I believe he did go in the coop on his own, but we're still kind of just keeping an eye on him. I haven't yet put the deer fence over the top of the chicken run, which we have to do here in the next day or so. So that will help as well, because I know he can fly that high, so I don't really want him getting out when we don't want him to be out. I could clip one of his wings as well, but I don't know. I don't feel like we have to quite yet, as long as we get that fencing up over that. So that's the newest member at Flannel Acres. And like I said, we're looking for names. So if you guys have any suggestions for names, go ahead and comment those either here or on the other video. That's fine. All right. So I do have some upcoming video ideas. I don't know if I want to spill it all here, but if you guys have suggestions of things that you would like to see or videos that you've liked that I've done already, maybe we can branch out into some of those areas as well. My channel is kind of a variety, and I like to dabble in several different areas. I haven't really narrowed this down to a specific niche, so I just like the variety. So if you guys have suggestions, feel free to mention that. I think it's raining here. We're supposed to get thunderstorms tonight. I look forward to that if it's actually going to happen. I don't mind a good thunderstorm. It's funny because my kids are all either adults or almost adults, and even now when it's thunderstorming outside, no matter what time of night it is, they're up and watching out the windows or standing on the front porch under the roof that extends out, just watching the storm come in and trying to get pictures of lightning and whatnot. So that's always a lot of fun. So I like the thunder and the heavy rain, just as long as no trees fall down on our house or anybody gets hurt or lightning strikes the wrong area or whatever. But for the most part, we like thunderstorms around here. And let's see, one of my recent videos, the one titled Why I Quit Gardening, if you haven't seen that one yet, go ahead and watch that as well. Just an update kind of on the plant situation here. I do have a large pot. It's probably about, the top of it is about a foot square, maybe a little bit more, and then it's probably about 2 feet tall. So it's very, it's kind of this shape, kind of wide and deep. So I got some tomato plants and pepper plants from my niece and put those in there, and I had some good dirt to put in there with them as well. And they've been doing pretty good. Yesterday we noticed that the whole thing was tipped over onto the deck, and I couldn't tell if something had been digging in there or what happened quite there. So we do have a big tomato cage that's kind of stuck in there too, so it's, you think it's top heavy, but it's not really yet because the plants are only about, you know, this tall. Anyway, something in the night tipped that over. We don't know what, probably a raccoon. That's the most common animal to come through here and cause trouble. So maybe a raccoon tried to climb on the tomato cage and the whole thing just went over. That would have been kind of funny to see, but yeah, I don't know. But I had to tilt that back up and put dirt back in it, and there's one of the plants that I'm not sure if it's gonna make it. It's a little droopy, but we'll see what happens with that. We did sort of kind of wonder if something like a bear could have tipped it over. There are reports of a bear in the area recently, just in the last week, and I think as close as about 5 to 7 miles from here. So I know bears can travel quite a ways. I don't know if we have any right in this immediate vicinity, or if that one will travel over here. I don't know, but there are people over there a few miles away that their bird feeders are getting tipped over and broke or whatever. So they're having to be careful. We don't usually see bears around here. It's pretty rare. I don't know if there's been any right in our neighborhood that I know of. We've never seen one, and of course they're usually out at night, I guess. So, but whenever there's a report of a bear in the area, even, you know, several miles from here, people kind of freak out a little bit, and, you know, keep your children inside and watch your pets and things like that. And, you know, I think bears, they'll eat whatever they can find, but I think typically they don't go for people. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think black bears tend to be afraid of people. So I'm not too awful worried about it, as long as we don't come across or come between cubs and a mama bear. That would be bad. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bear out here sometime. We have a lot of wild blueberries out back, low bush and high bush wild blueberries. So when it's that season, you know, later in July, there's a lot of blueberries out there, and I think bears would take that up. You know, they would go for that for sure. So I wouldn't be surprised if someday we find a bear out there chowing down on blueberries. So, what is going on in your neck of the woods? Do you guys have any plans for the holiday coming up? 4th of July is right around the corner. Let's see, about a week away now. A week and a day. We do have some plans to spend time with family, so that's going to be fun. And it's not a fun drive through this area at the moment because there's a lot of construction on the expressway, and that's supposed to be going on for quite a while. So every Friday for the last few weeks, if you catch a glimpse of the expressway, especially northbound, it's standstill traffic. That's where people take their trailers and campers and whatnot. They go up north to vacation and to camp out and stuff. So this expressway by us is a pretty busy route, and it gets pretty jammed up. It gets jammed up even if there's not construction, so it's even worse now. But yes, if you really like going up north and camping, the trip is worth it, even if you gotta crawl along for a little while. Alright, just want to remind you to go ahead and click the like button down below. That will help boost the video in the channel. Wild blueberry, huckleberry pie would be good for video and for eating. Absolutely. And honestly, I'm not sure if what we have out there is huckleberry and blueberry or one or the other. I'm not really sure. I just know that there are the low bush and the high bush. I know you can tell them apart by the seeds somehow. One of them has bigger seeds and less, or the other one has more. I don't know. I'd have to look at that. But anyways, several years ago, we did walk to a spot in the woods and pick a bunch, and we had enough to make, was it one pie or two pies? I think it was two pies, two blueberry pies, and they were delicious. Those were really good. So yeah, we should take you guys along for a video and show you some of these blueberries that we have out here when they ripen, as long as the wildlife leaves some for us. But yeah, that would be a fun video to do because we love blueberry pie. So with the gardening, back on that, I'm kind of curious what you guys are growing this year, if anything. If you have any favorites that you grow. Our typical stuff is like tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, sometimes corn, zucchini, things like that. But we're not doing the whole big garden this year. So tomatoes and peppers it is for us, and they're doing well. We don't usually have much luck with carrots or greens like spinach or lettuce. Those haven't ever done well here. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm planting them at the wrong time, or I don't know, maybe the soil is too sandy. It's very sandy around here. But yeah, I'm curious to know what you guys are growing this year and how the gardens are doing. We've had plenty of rain already here this year, so things are doing real good. My hazelnut trees out front are just going gangbusters. They're huge and just seems like they're outgrowing their space almost. So we're gonna have to maybe trim those back at the end of this year. But there were a lot of blossoms on there, so I'm excited for later in the summer, early fall, to harvest some hazelnuts. And hopefully it's a better harvest than last year. And if you happen to see that video, some of the shells were empty and some of them had nuts in them, so it was kind of a toss-up if, you know, we were going to have any nuts in some of those. But it was a lot of fun. That was the first time we harvested those, so looking forward to doing that again. One of the projects I have coming up this summer, I would say summer, usually it's a fall thing. I have Japanese iris in my front flower garden here, and they are taller than regular irises, and the flowers are smaller, so they're really pretty purple color, and the leaves are real thin and real tall, so it's a really pretty flower to have, perennial, that's it. So anyway, after a few years of having those in the ground, the base of it kind of forms a ring. So there's nothing in the middle, but then the plant is just kind of a ring like this where everything grows out from. So when it turns into a ring, you should divide it. So pretty soon I'll be digging those up and dividing those and giving some flowers away, because I think those are always nice ones to have. And perennials don't usually need a whole lot of work, so that's nice too. And anybody joining us now, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. I don't plan on going any later than 8 o'clock. There's another YouTuber that I like to watch at 8 o'clock that live streams every Friday night. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Books Fest. Russell is a Canadian that does lots of neat stuff on his channel out in the wilderness. So that's where I'm going after this, to check out the Books Fest. Just wanted to give this live stream a try. It seems like everything is running smoothly. Does anybody have any rooster name ideas? Let me get a picture of him back up here. There's our rooster. He's kind of small yet, but he's pretty. You can't see it in this picture, but his tail feathers kind of, the way they hang down is kind of pretty, almost ornamental. It's kind of neat. His comb's not very big yet, but I'm sure that'll get much bigger as he gets older. I was going to try to maybe name him based on his personality, but we don't know him very well yet. He seems very gentle and is very used to humans, obviously, because he was raised with them. So he's very willing to be picked up and cuddled, and I know that sounds funny to do with a rooster, but he really does like to be held, and I'm probably spoiling him a little bit. But anyways, he's a nice rooster so far. I'd hate to think that he'll get mean someday, but I guess we'll find out. So yeah, if you can think of any names, that would be fun to kind of go through too. You can kind of see in that picture, back here on the right hand side, there is one of our old hens, and right after I took that picture, the rooster went off running because he knew that he was a little too close to her, so that was kind of funny. But he seems to know pretty well already to stay away from them. All right, so quick question. I do have some audio with that campfire, and just wondered if you guys can hear the birds in there and whatnot too, if that's coming through okay. I intended that to be audible, but just want to make sure. I just think campfires are comforting. Did some camping growing up, and just being around the campfire and staring into the fire or the coals, and the smell of the campfire is smells like home, smells like summer, so that's always nice. So I thought I'd share a campfire with you guys tonight. Can't have one outside because it's raining at the moment, but that's all right. If you see down below that scrolling text down there, welcome to Flannel Live, and also we have a P.O. box, so I'm kind of excited about that too. If anybody wants to send anything through snail mail, go ahead and send it to my P.O. box 203, Whitehall, Michigan. I'll be going up there to check it once in a while to see if anybody wants to send snail mail, which is fun too. So feel free to send an old-fashioned letter. Alright, so 7:35. I wanted to maybe add some royalty-free music in here too, but maybe that'd be a little too much. I haven't figured out how to do that either yet, but I'd like to do the live streaming on a regular basis, maybe once a month. I don't know, maybe we'll try that first, once a month. just so I don't forget how to do it at least. Anyways, just another reminder to click the like button down below if you would please, and thank you. That will help boost the video and the channel. I always appreciate that. So, COVID, are you sick of that word yet? I am. So we're trying to get back to normal, or a new kind of normal. I just wondered if anybody is still in any kind of isolation. Some places kind of open things back up and then close back down, and our area, things are partially open. There are still a few things that aren't open yet, but for the most part, people are out and about and doing pretty close to normal stuff that they did before, which is encouraging. I feel like that, you know, we kind of needed that, just a boost of morale for the community. Anyways, so my husband and I were working through the whole thing anyway. We were essential workers, and so our life didn't really change a whole lot other than the kids were at home all the time. So that was kind of nice to have them around, but probably kind of boring for them. So did you guys have anything fun or interesting that you did during isolation or during quarantine? Anything new that you learned or things that you tried that you want to share? Go ahead and comment that. I didn't really have much time to try anything new or anything like that because I was working still full time. Some of my coworkers have been laid off, like furloughed, I guess you'd say, and we've seen a couple of them come back, which is fun. It's nice to see my coworkers again. I'm still waiting for a few more to come back, but we don't know the timing of that. But it is encouraging to have things kind of going back to normal, somewhat normal. And looking ahead, summer and fall, we're kind of wondering what kinds of things are gonna, like events are still gonna take place. Bob and I went to a Renaissance fair last year in September, and that was a lot of fun. And we said, okay, we're gonna go again next year. So we already have been planning costumes and stuff. So we still really want to go, but I guess I haven't heard for sure 100% if they're gonna be still doing it. We're still planning to go, but I guess if we hear that they can't do it for some reason, then we won't. But we're looking forward to that. As far as sports go, I think high school sports are going to be starting up as usual, or like before, for fall sports. So we're glad for that. We have one of our kids that will be playing a fall sport, and that'll be fun to go and watch that. So another thing that I wanted to quick mention, I used to use Shipt a lot, and I did do a video a while back about comparing Shipt and the Walmart, what do they call that? You shop online and then you go to the store and pick it up. So I did a side-by-side comparison of those two, and I did use Shipt for probably about a year, I think. Instead of going to the store and shopping. And I did use Walmart several times too for their pickup service. I did stop using Shipt. I just felt like I needed to physically go back to the store and start doing that again because I really don't mind shopping. The Shipt was convenient though for when we were busy and a lot of stress and whatnot. So anyway, I did go back to shopping in the store. And of course, soon after I started doing that, we had the whole pandemic thing happen. So my favorite store changed their hours. I used to go, I'd get there early Sunday morning, like 7 o'clock, give or take. So they changed their store hours to open at 8 o'clock, and that just kind of ruined it for me. There's too many people. Normally when I get there earlier than that, there's hardly anybody there except people stocking shelves. So it's pretty quiet. You don't have to worry about crowds or anything. But once they changed it to opening at 8 o'clock, yeah, it was crowded. Didn't like it a bit. So I was tempted to go back to Shipt, but I still wanted to just do my own shopping at that point. So just got through that, and they changed the hours to open up again at 6 o'clock. So I'm back to my early Sunday morning shopping with hardly anybody else around, and that's really nice. I use their shop and scan, I think it's called. So I get on my cell phone and make my shopping list, and then once I get to the store, you click the start shopping, and as I go through the store, I scan with my phone the barcodes on each item. So I get the cloth shopping bags, and I put them all in my cart. I line them all up, and I kind of hold them open against each other with clothespins. So I have my whole cart with the bags all set up in there. So as I go and I scan things, I can pack them into the bags where I want them. So by the time I'm done shopping, everything is already packed in bags, big sturdy bags, which is super nice because I usually don't care for how the store employees pack my stuff in bags. So anyways, I've been using that, which is really super nice, and it will clip the coupons. We use M-Perks, so we go to Meijer, and it'll clip those for you, and that's really nice too. So that's my new convenience thing, is using the shop and scan. I don't know if I'll use Shipt again or not. I guess that depends on life circumstances, because like I said, when I was using that, it's kind of a busy, high-stress time, so it was really nice to have somebody else do that and just drop it off. But there is cost to that. You guys can probably hear one of my hens out there. We have, well, both of our old hens like to come up on the deck, but there's especially one of the two, that comes up on the deck and she'll stand right by the slider door and just look in the window. Excuse me. It's funny because it seems like whenever we sit down to dinner, there she is by the door. And sometimes she'll tap her beak on the door like she's knocking, like, hey, can I come in? And sometimes we'll open up the door to see if she will come in, but she's really hesitant to even set foot in. I don't know why, but it's just kind of funny that she hangs out by the door there. And she's out there right now clucking. I'm not really sure why. That's kind of the cluck we hear when she's laid an egg, but maybe she's fussing about something else out there she thinks she sees. We don't have eggs from our young chicks yet. I think it'll be, I think I figured about that by end of July that they would be laying eggs for us. So looking forward to that. Now with 12 chickens, 12 hens total, that's going to add up to a lot of eggs. So we'll probably be sharing those a lot. But yeah, that'll be fun to have them laying eggs and using the new nesting box. That's another video, turning an old shed into a chicken coop. That was a lot of fun. You do have a chicken for dinner. Yeah. She invites herself to dinner. But fortunately, she doesn't have to be in the stew pot, so. Anybody have any good jokes to share? I heard that I'm going to be maybe participating in a dad joke contest. And I need some good ones. Hopefully I don't laugh telling them, I can just make somebody else laugh. But you guys got any good dad jokes to share? I was trying to think of some kind of a game or activity that we could play on here, but everything is copyrighted. Everything, I think I would get in trouble for playing live on YouTube, so I was kind of stuck on that. So if you guys have game ideas, like if you want to play a quick round of something that we wouldn't get in trouble for, that'd be great. I'd say cards or euchre or something, but I don't know how you do that in a live stream. I don't think that would work too good, but... Or maybe some trivia or something, I don't know. Be fun to just mix it up a little bit. And do you guys have any questions about any videos that you've seen that I've done, or things going on around here, or just random whatever questions you want to ask is great. One of the videos I did a few months back when the chicks were really super tiny and like little fluff balls, I took a video of them falling asleep. So they would kind of all huddle together and they would close their eyes and just kind of droop down into a lump of fluff. It was so cute, and I had to get that on video. So I put that, I posted that and put some really soft music to it and posted it just, you know, because it was so cute. And when I'm going through comments on my channel, I've been shocked at the number of comments that people post saying that, you know, they have chicks and they played this video for them and they fell right asleep. A lot of people have commented on that, and it really surprised me that they would actually play the video for their chicks. I think that's pretty cool. I just posted it because it was cute, you know, something fun for people to watch, but it's actually putting chicks to sleep. That's pretty cool. I like that. So if you are one of those people, thank you. That was a surprise. I wasn't expecting that. I think in future live streams, I may include more stuff on the screen as far as maybe some video clips, maybe a slideshow, picture slideshow or something as well. And if you're just popping on, welcome and thanks for stopping by. This is my second live stream. The first one was just with my laptop camera, so it wasn't that great, and as far as quality goes anyway. But I have a new camera and some software that I'm using to kind of help me build what I'm doing here. So it's turned out to be a fun thing, and hopefully you guys can join me again and some more people come along. When I scheduled the live stream, I think that people got a notification that this was coming up. So hopefully that happened for you guys and you saw that. I am a little bit flexible on days and times to do this too, so if it seems like more people can join on a different day or different time, maybe we'll switch it up a little bit there too. All right. Thank you for the extra like there. Appreciate that. It's getting to be almost time to have a little ice cream, I think. Seems like a good night to have ice cream. So there's a question for you. What's your favorite ice cream? Favorite flavor or favorite topping? What's your favorite? I tend to go for just vanilla ice cream with stuff on it. So I like to put sliced bananas and maybe some Hershey syrup. If I have whipped cream, that's going on there. Maraschino cherries, we really like those. I like chopped nuts on there too. Not sure if there's any typical ice cream topping that I don't like, but we did get crackle, like the coating crackle stuff before, and that's fun to do with the kids. I actually did make a homemade version of that as well, and that was fun to do. Really tasty too. Is there anything unusual that you put on your ice cream that you think people should try because it's unexpected but yet very good? I can't think of anything that like unusual that I put on ice cream. I've been tempted to put some chips on it, like crunch up some chips just for that crunchy, sweet, salty kind of a thing, but haven't actually done it yet. I don't have any chips good enough to do that right now anyway. But yeah, anything weird or unusual to try on ice cream. Maybe I'll try if you have a good suggestion. And if you're just jumping on, thanks for joining us and stopping by. Feel free to drop some comments in the chat over there. Any questions that you have, or just a shout out to say hi. I'd like to do this about once a month, and I told some of you that already, but once a month I think is the goal. So be looking for that coming up in the next few weeks. If I decide to do it sooner, that's fine. We'll do it sooner, but I'd like to do at least once a month, just to kind of hang out. And going into the weekend, you guys have anything exciting or fun that you have planned to do this weekend? Any projects going on? I do have to put the fence, deer fence over the chicken run, like I said earlier. The nesting box on our coop still needs a few shingles on that, so that's on the list to do. Trying to think of anything else. Of course, house cleaning, but that's not any fun. Yeah, probably cutting the grass and stuff like that too is on our list to do. We have been cleaning out the garage, and usually we'll clean it out twice a year, like once in the spring, once in the fall, and just so that we can make sure the vehicles can park in there. So this spring we started in on that and ended up donating bags and bags and boxes of stuff, because we would store things up in the rafters too. And so we got all that stuff out and sorted through, got rid of a bunch of stuff, threw some stuff away. So really lightened the load out there. It's still kind of an organized mess out there. We rearranged a lot of stuff like tool bench and the deep freezer and stuff, so it feels more functional, looks a little more functional, but we still have a lot of sorting and stuff to do. Our oldest son is really good at sorting and organizing, so he's been helpful with that. Bob got a new, what is it called? I want to call it a tool bench, but it's got the drawers in it. Toolbox? Tool chest? I don't know. Something like that. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, we got to finish that garage. It's been a several week project so far. We've had to skip a couple weeks too because we're busy, but gotta get that garage done. I'd like to be able to park my vehicle in there so I don't have to walk out in the rain to get in the car. So, if you're just jumping on, thanks for stopping by and welcome. I said earlier that I'm going to be going onto a different YouTube channel after this to check out another live stream that I follow sometimes on Friday nights, Books Fest. So if you want to hop over there and chit chat and hang out, they live stream for a few hours every Friday night. So it's fun. It's just kind of a hangout and chat and listen to music and stuff like that. So plan on doing that tonight, just being lazy because why not? Alright, so we got what, 7:55. Probably wrap things up here in just a minute. Does anybody have anything that they want to ask or comment in these last few minutes? Anything you want to talk about real quick? We got time. I was mentioning earlier that we have trails and people that ride horseback out in the woods back here. There are a lot of trails out there, and it's fun to go out and just go for a walk anytime I want, except I don't go in the rain like it is now. But yeah, it's really nice out there to go and hike. The kids like to ride their bikes out there too. And we have found old 2-tracks out there. I think part of the woods out here was kind of a dumping ground back in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s in there. Because our boys have dug up a lot of neat stuff from out there, like license plates and milk bottles and old pop bottles and stuff like that. So they found some really cool stuff, really dated, really old stuff. Anyway, we do find those old 2-tracks every once in a while when we're out in the woods, and you can just kind of see the 2 little grooves kind of winding off in the distance, and that's where the trees are the smallest as well. So it's fun finding those and just curious, you know, where those go in the woods and who used to drive back here, and maybe people just kind of went 2-tracking out in the woods and just to have fun or whatever, and dump their trash. So we do have a lot of broken glass in one area in particular. It'd be nice to clean that up, but there's so much of it. We have recycled some of it. Trying to do our duty, I guess, for the environment. Alright, so anybody still on? If you haven't clicked like, if you could do that for me, that'd be awesome. Really appreciate that. I think we'll probably just kind of wind it down now, and give me a couple minutes to get some ice cream before the other live stream starts up. So you guys have a good night and a good weekend and a good holiday, good 4th of July holiday coming up. Have a good time, be safe, and I will catch you guys later. See if I can get